Have you ever been betrayed by the people you thought would always have your back? I didn't just lose my family. I lost everything I thought I knew about loyalty. And the worst part? It was all because of my brother. On the day I was supposed to marry the love of my life, my family abandoned me. My name's Ethan, and I'm 32. I live in Boise, Idaho, born and raised. For most of my life, I worked hard to build everything I have. You know the grind, working 9 to 5 at a small local business, staying late, putting in the extra hours. Most days are just like any other. But there was one day, one moment, that shattered everything. It was supposed to be the happiest day of my life. But things started to feel off long before the wedding. Logan, my older brother, he's always been the kind of guy who's flashy, you know the type. Flashy cars, flashy lifestyle. But beneath it, he's manipulative. And for years, I let him take advantage of me. The late-night calls asking for money. The promises he'd make and break. The family events where he'd charm everyone and lie right to their faces about me. But this time was different. Logan lied to my parents. He told them I was being selfish. That Anna wasn't good enough for the family. And they believed him. My own parents, the ones who raised me, turned their backs on me, all because of Logan's lies. The morning of my wedding, the world felt right. The crisp smell of winter air. The warmth of coffee in my hand. My fiancé's voice laughing down the hall. I stood in front of the mirror, adjusting my tie, thinking, today's the day everything finally comes together. And for a while, it did. Until I looked out at the pews. Empty. I stared at that screen so long the letters started to blur. It wasn't just a no-show. It was a message. I wasn't just losing them for a day. I was losing them forever. People around me were whispering. My best man leaned over and asked if I was okay. I just smiled, tightened my tie, and said, let's get this done. Because if Logan wanted me broken, he was about to find out who he really underestimated. I didn't make a scene. I didn't storm out or call them, begging for answers. Instead, I picked up the pieces, one by one. First, I canceled every reserved table with their names on it. Then, I called the caterers, told them to donate the extra meals to the local homeless shelter. Every empty seat? It would feed someone who actually needed a reason to smile that day. Next, I went home and rewrote my will. Removed Logan. Removed my parents. Every plan I had, every dime I was working for, I redirected. Not out of spite. Out of clarity. They made their choice. And now, I was making mine. It didn't take long for the cracks to show. 3 days after the wedding, Logan started to panic. First, the texts. Logan, bro, it was just a misunderstanding, don't be dramatic. Logan, you're embarrassing the family. Logan, we need to talk, urgent. Then the calls. Over and over, no voicemails, just missed calls stacking up like bricks around a grave. I didn't answer. I didn't explain. Because deep down, Logan wasn't calling to apologize. He was calling because for the first time in his life, he realized he couldn't control me anymore. Every text, every call, wasn't a real apology. It was fear. Fear that the life he thought he could leech off of, the safety net he always expected, was gone. Logan didn't know it. But I still had one last gift for him. The annual Winter Community Awards. A night where local businesses, volunteers, and yes, troublemakers, get recognized. Normally, it's a parade of handshakes and plaques. But this year, I made sure they played a different slideshow. Logan laughing in a crowd, center of attention, until he notices a shift in the room's energy. The projector screen flashing Logan's smiling face, then screenshots of Logan's texts trashing Ethan, emails begging for cash, records showing unpaid loans and scams, all public. The crowd gasps. Whispering. Shifting uncomfortably. Logan's face draining of color. Fake smile slipping, beer trembling slightly in his hand, eyes darting around for an exit. He tried to laugh it off at first. Called it fake. Jealousy. Old news. But nobody was buying it anymore. He had his moment in the sun. But the world finally saw him for what he was. Logan didn't say a word to me after that night. He didn't have to. Within a week, the community board cut ties with him. His so-called friends stopped returning calls. Even Mom started sending me messages. No apology. Just confusion. Why would you do that to your brother? I never answered her either. Because at some point, you realize you can't explain loyalty to people who only know how to break it. It took me a while to rebuild. I moved out of state, fresh start in Colorado. Found a new circle, people who showed up, not because they had to, but because they wanted to. And somewhere along the way, I stopped looking back. Turns out, blood makes you related. But loyalty? That's what makes you family. If you've ever been betrayed by the people you thought would always have your back, I want you to know you're not alone. And it's okay to walk away. Sometimes, choosing yourself is the bravest thing you'll ever do.